Don't forget to enter our Amazon gift card giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber, like and comment. Hey guys, welcome to the final Game of Thrones review. The series finale just ended and here we are breaking it down. Not gonna lie, I'm disappointed big time, and I'm sure most of you guys are as well. This is not the same show we have all fallen in love with. The bittersweet ending we have been promised turned out to be just bitter. I honestly don't know what was sweet about this ending. Well yes, it was nice to see Jon reunite with Ghost, I guess. And yes, I get it, the Starks have won at the end. But I don't like the progression and execution of all of this, not one bit. The Starks we know are these good guys, honest and fair, not some schemers plotting behind the back of people who saved them. If not for Dany, all these Starks, including Jon as well, would not be alive at this point. If Dany was not so good-hearted and if she was this mad queen all along, she would not go north and help the Starks defend their ancestral home and kingdom. But she did, she helped them and she saved them. She lost big portion of her armies and friends in the process, and what did she get in return? The Starks forming an ultimate plan how to make her mad, get her killed and win the Game of Thrones. Bran Stark is the ultimate villain. Littlefinger and Varys were right when they said knowledge is power, and the one with most knowledge, Bran, wins. Bran knows everything that's happened, everything that's happening and everything that will happen. The only use of him against the Night King was giving Arya the Valyrian steel dagger, which he knew Arya would later use to kill the Night King. In the Game of Thrones among the living though, Bran was as useless as he can get, and now we know why was that. Bran had the plan all along, and it was him ending up on the Iron Throne. Bran has been manipulating events throughout the entire Season 8 that would get him to this point. Bran is the final villain of the story in my opinion. Bran manipulated Sam into telling Jon the truth, knowing Sam would turn Jon against Dany, since the moment he told him to tell Jon the truth was pretty much a few minutes after he found out Dany burned his father and brother. Bran already knew what was Jon going to do. He's going to tell the truth to his family, and Bran knew Sansa did not like Dany, and she's Littlefinger's student. He knew Sansa would start scheming to overthrow Dany by using Jon's claim, and he knew that this way the truth behind Jon's true parentage and claim would spread. Bran says to Sam to tell the truth to Jon, Jon tells the truth to his family, Sansa tells it to Tyrion, Tyrion tells it to Varys and Varys informs all the Seven Kingdoms. The truth spreads, Dany's own advisors start plotting behind her back, Dany grows more paranoid and ultimately turns mad and kills the innocent. Jon is then left with no choice but to kill her and Jon himself must be punished for this. All the events Bran manipulated led to the outcome he's been working on this entire season. Bran Stark becomes the king of the Seven Kingdoms. Bran, the one with the most knowledge and thus the most power, wins the Game of Thrones. He was behind everything that happened in Season 8. Not so bad of an ending after all, if it was well written, and if Bran had any other line than "I don't want anything really, I can't be the Lord of Winterfell, I'm the Three-Eyed Raven now," and if the execution was not so terrible. But unfortunately it was, and almost no one can say this ending was satisfying. It was bitter and disappointing. Anyways, let's get back to the beginning of an episode. Jon, Davos and Tyrion are walking through the aftermath of the Battle of King's Landing. They will see the horror Dany's done to King's Landing and all the innocent. Truly dreadful shots. This serves as some kind of a justification for Dany's death that's coming a bit later. Dany is the Mad Queen, and Jon realizes Varys was right after all. Just when I think that a few seasons back Dany locked up her dragon because Drogon burned one single child only to then use Drogon to kill hundreds of thousands, makes me realize how badly the showrunners butchered Dany's arc in the final season. Stannis who? Dany is ultimately the biggest victim of the bad writing. It's not Dany becoming the Mad Queen that upsets me, it's how we got there and how she's become one, a rushed and inconsistent mess. As I already said in my Dany video, Tormund's statement what kind of a person rides a dragon, a madman or a king, did strike me as some kind of a foreshadow for what's to come. Dany being the mad one and Jon being the true king. That's not enough. Dany did say 2 times in earlier season how she's going to take back what's hers with fire and blood, and I'd be okay with that if Dany in season 7 when she arrived instantly attacked King's Landing, did what she did in last episode and fulfilled her words. But she didn't, and she promised to the Lannister soldiers that that's not her, but Cersei who destroys and burns cities and kills the innocent. She said she's come to save them. Then in season 8 episode 3 she indeed saves Westeros with her armies and dragons, only to 2 episodes later use the same armies and her dragon to destroy the capital of Westeros, killing hundreds of thousands civilians. Dany was made a villain in one single episode, and there was no real build-up for this. In the books yes, on the show no. Anyways, as they walk through the ruins they come across Dany's armies commanded by Grey Worm, who trapped the remaining Lannister soldiers, and are about to kill them. Dany commanded her armies to kill every remaining enemy soldier, which upsets Jon and Tyrion. Jon pleads Grey Worm to stop this madness, but Grey Worm tells him it's the Queen's orders and kills them. Later, Jon sees Dany and Drogon behind her, and as she walks down the stairs, Drogon's shadow makes Dany look like she has giant wings. Such a weird scene. But this is a nice callback to Season 7 and Dany's conversation with Olenna when she said Dany to be a dragon, and now she truly is a dragon, taking what's hers with fire and blood. Dany gives a speech to her armies. She says to the cheering Dothraki and disciplined Unsullied that they just freed the people from King's Landing, and the new goal is freeing the rest of the world, freeing all the slaves. Dany turns to Tyrion and tells him he committed treason. Tyrion tells her that she killed thousands of innocent people, and he takes off the hand's pin and throws it. Dany sends him to prison. This is not coming as a surprise, since Tyrion did extremely good job identifying himself to the Unsullied guards before freeing Jaime, and Dany did warn Tyrion in the beginning of episode 5 that if he ever fails her again, it would be his last. While in prison, Tyrion tries to convince Jon to turn on Dany. His family will never be safe because it threatens Dany's legitimacy. Jon is convinced by Tyrion that his family will never be safe, because he represents a threat to her rule. Jon goes to see Dany and she's sitting on the Iron Throne alone, and Jon tells her that she needs to stop this madness. Dany tells Jon that she's doing it for the people, and that's when Jon sees Dany is indeed mad and must be stopped. Jon pretends to understand her. When her guard is down, he stabs her. That's Dany's third prophesied betrayal, betrayal for love. Basically, Jon gives Dany one last chance, trying to talk to her to see if she realizes what she's done is a huge mistake and crime. Dany justifies her actions, and that's when Jon will realize there's no turning back. She is this mad queen and a huge threat to Westeros, having already destroyed one great city and hundreds of thousands innocent people. And Jon is left with no choice but to kill her. One thing I kept repeating throughout my videos, the meaning of Dany's visions came true. I was constantly saying that this particular Dany's vision from the Undying was foreshadowing this all along. Dany wins the Iron Throne and becomes Queen of Ashes that are covering it, but she will not be able to ever sit on it, or at least not for long, because Jon will have to put an end to her madness, whereupon she'll join Drogo and her son on the other world. That's exactly what happened. After Dany's kill, Drogon comes and is standing over her body, and he burns her, melts the Iron Throne and carries her away. One would think that Drogon would rip Jon apart for killing his mother, or burn the entire King's Landing to the ground, but no, Drogon picks her up and leaves. I'm also surprised that Grey Worm with his Unsullied and Dothraki did not kill Jon on sight, but instead took him for a fair trial. I don't know if that's just me, but just the thought of the Unsullied and Dothraki not seeking revenge over their killed queen sounds ridiculous. If someone asked me what would Dany's armies and dragons do to the person, city and the entire continent if she was to be killed, I'd say they'd pillage, burn and kill everyone. Especially the Dothraki. All of them are her blood riders, and that's their duty. Let me remind you that back in Season 6, upon winning Dothraki to her side, Dany reminds them that she has yet to select her 3 blood riders, as all the cults have done before her. She then declares that she's not a Khal, and selects the entire Khalasar her blood riders. The title of Blood Rider carries great prestige within a Khalasar. If a Khal is killed, blood riders avenge him. Once done, they can move on, and not before. Now Dany is killed and she doesn't have 3 blood riders, but thousands of them, and none seek revenge. None of them seek to fulfill their duty as a blood rider. Once again, writing on point. Grey Worm has Tyrion and Jon as his prisoners. The council, led by Sansa, tells Grey Worm to release Jon back to them, but he refuses. Tyrion is in front of the council, and as a prisoner of Grey Worm he is not making decision. He is content with being a prisoner, he makes suggestions only. That's when Tyrion says that the new king or queen should decide what happens to Jon. Sam suggests a democratic vote for the new king. Tyrion calls that idea stupid. The council votes and decides Bran should be the king. Bran picks Tyrion as his hand. Tyrion tells Jon that his punishment is going back to the Wall and join the Night's Watch. Tyrion said Grey Worm wanted him dead and Sansa wanted him back home, so nobody is getting what they want. It's a fair compromise. Grey Worm accepts Jon's punishment. He doesn't bend the knee, leaves with his troops and Dothraki on ships to free slave cities. They show Tyrion leading the council. Jon says goodbye to Sansa and Arya. Arya tells them she's not going back home. She's going to explore whatever is west of Westeros because there's where no one has been. The final scene is a closing montage. You see Arya on a ship, Sansa ruling Winterfell and Jon go Stormund and a bunch of wildlings leaving the Wall and heading north. What was the point of the entire "the lone wolf dies but the pack survives" line from Season 7? Bran's at King's Landing, Sansa and Winterfell, Arya leaves Westeros and Jon goes beyond the Wall. All of them now are the lone wolves. I also find it ridiculous that Bran was chosen as a new king. Bran might be this soul-sting three-eyed raven and Jon might have killed Dany, but that doesn't matter. He is their rightful king. For all they know, Dany usurped the throne, and Jon had to kill her to take what's his by his right. They would all vote for Jon Snow to be their king, if the show had any sense left. The so very long-awaited bittersweet ending is Jon killing Dany and going beyond the wall, while Bran Stark is democratically chosen as the new king of the Seven Kingdoms. Is he bitter that Jon kills Dany, or is he bitter that Bran becomes the king? What's exactly sweet about this ending? I don't think the ending is necessarily bad, as in fact it's how George R. R. Martin's books will also end, as they said multiple times that the ending will be the same, but the journey to get there will be quite different, and the journey is exactly what was so disappointing here. Dany going mad, Bran becoming the king, and everything else could have been written so that all of this would make sense. Instead, we got a rushed and poorly written season where ending is nowhere near bittersweet, only bitter. Bran ended up the king, the kid who refused lordship of Winterfell because he is the three-eyed raven now, but then he accepts to be the king of the Seven Kingdoms. To make the Starks win and Bran end up on the throne, the showrunners made Dany mad in just one episode so Jon could kill her. This way Dany is obviously dead and cannot be the queen while Jon takes the black for killing her, which makes him no longer a legitimate heir to the throne. As I explained in the beginning of this video, Bran Stark is the ultimate villain of Game of Thrones. He is the reason Dany turned mad and Jon had to kill her. He manipulated all the season 8 events, everything so he could become this next king of the Seven Kingdoms. Bran Stark won Game of Thrones thanks to the power of knowledge. While this itself might not sound such bad of an ending, as I already said, the execution was very poorly written, and all the emotion this ending could awaken us is disappointment. I don't like it, but hopefully you guys do, and hopefully you're not as disappointed as much as I am. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.